well this is Claude. He's a male cassowary. You can tell he's a male because he's got slightly longer tail at the back, because when they sit on the eggs they spread their tail out to keep them all warm. Smaller than a female, and yeah, this was the statue that was in the garden out the front. Attacked again, because he's never going to respond to her advances. We know there are quals here. Again, one of those ones that if you save enough forest, then you really are.
All of these other animals.
All these things depend on the forest, yes, which is really important. Yep.
This one, that's good. Yeah, no, that's it. Okay.
No, I'll go forward. Thanks, buddy. Why is the road closed?
Both at the same time there.
Did you get that?
Oh, yeah.
That was.
Cassowaries, well, birds are the descendants of dinosaurs, and it's particularly obvious when you look at a cassowary, not so much in its body, but in its face, maybe, and then you look at the legs, big scaly legs and big feet, just like you see in like a velociraptor or something like that. Well, the number of cassowaries was plummeting, and so it was recognised by many of us living here that there was a real issue, and so we started campaigning for cassowaries to be looked after, and so they were recognised as a threatened species. And then this group was formed to try to save the numbers of cassowaries that we could, but primarily, and we've got 4,500 cassowaries in the whole of the wet tropics. They are still very much under threat. People that cassowaries are not aggressive when they're treated well. It's only when people do silly things like feeding birds by hand or trying to pat a cassowary, can you believe it, that birds get the wrong idea and could potentially be aggressive. And inevitably, when that happens, it's the bird that loses out, because we have a wildlife what they could be, and so we lose birds to road strike every year. We lose mature birds, but we especially lose chicks because they're not readily visible. And people might see an adult cassowary and they'll avoid that, but they don't realise that there's chicks coming across the road as well. So loss of birds to road strikes has been something that's been recognised over the last 20 years, but very difficult to deal with it because it's driver awareness. So you'll see there's lots of signs around asking people to slow down and to be aware. Interestingly, there's been a push on with cassowaries to say that they're not as threatened as they were, and that's because previously their population was in a serious plummet. Mission Beach had the highest density of cassowaries when they first started looking, and it's still a high density, but it's in a reduced area. The number of cassowaries was definitely dropping. It seems now to have levelled out. So we've really